7 o'clock, we got the biggest game of the day. Number 20, Kentucky, which started off the season with a win last week against Miami, Ohio. It's actually a closer game than I expected in the first half. Kentucky was able to pull away in the second half, but I think that's good news for Florida, who was able to eke out a victory, a hard-fought victory against Utah. And I hope you're excited if you're Kentucky, because you're entering the swamp, ladies and gentlemen. Bow! I hope Wildcats can take on Gators, because Gators are about to snap their jaws. Florida favored by 6 points on ESPN. This is a big matchup for both these football teams. If Kentucky really wants to compete in the SEC this year, this is a huge chance, a huge statement chance to get a victory. And if Will Levis wants to be considered a first-round quarterback, this is a huge chance against a good Florida defense. On the other hand, Florida, this is a much-needed victory for them if they really want to be seen as a top 10 football team and a team that can really take on Georgia this football season. If you really want to strike the heart in Georgia fans, if you could destroy Kentucky, that would be a huge victory. Even beat Kentucky, that would be big. Kentucky's Will Levis went 21-32 last week, threw for 303 yards, 3 touchdowns, 1 interception, and had 65.6% completion percentage. Kavasi Smoke on the ground. Remember, he's not going to have his partner in crime, Jarquez Hunter, this week. Just like he didn't have it last week. Smoke only had 7 carries for 32 yards last week, and Tavion Robinson through the air had 6 catches for 136 yards. Anthony Richardson is a guy a lot of teams are looking at as a possible first-round quarterback selection. He went 7. He really proved himself last week. He went against the Utah defense that is notoriously good. He went 17-24, threw for 168 yards and 70.8% completion percentage. Also led his team on the ground with 11 carries for 106 yards and count him 3 touchdowns. Not to mention his elite 2-point conversion with the amazing pump fake. Ricky Pearsall led his team receiving in 4 catches for 67 yards last week. Florida leads the series all time, 53-19. Last game did go to Kentucky, but Florida has won 33 of the last 35 times this team has played. Plus, Kentucky's going into a tough atmosphere in the swamp, but Will Levis, if any quarterback can beat Florida, it's Will Levis for Kentucky. Will Levis has looked phenomenally good for the Wildcats last year and this year. He's really good, guys. He's a good quarterback, and I think this could be a really tough matchup for Florida. I'd be hitting the over if I was a betting man. I like Florida in this matchup, obviously. I'm a Florida Gators fan. The only reason I picked Utah last week was because I legitimately thought Utah looked like the better football team. But now, outside of Georgia, I think I'm going to pick Florida down the stretch because they just look like the better football team in all their other matchups. I think Florida's the better football team against Kentucky. I think it's a close game, but I think Florida ekes out a victory, and I think they cover that 6-point spread.